There's the two halves that I've bandsawed out roughly. And my lady's bought me some double-sided tape from a pound shop, or I suppose in America it'd be Dollar General or something like that. So Kershaw. Let's use this. To just put one piece sort of down the centre. It hasn't got to be murder stuck down hard, because you always got to try and get it apart afterwards. And I'll just trim that off there a minute. And the other use of it for a knife is getting the blooming top layer off, isn't it? And a nice hollow ground tip with a swedge that's already sharpened really does make a difference. That goes on the general bin. It's called the floor. Put my blade away, and then offer these two up and get them close as just under their own weight. So if I made a mistake, I can always pull them apart afterwards. Something like that. And then press it together quite hard. And the plan is now to just tidy the back end up, take that long end off, and then make the front corner basically quite finished, almost to the point of the end of the blade. I've shown you before, but in case anybody's tuning in for the first time, when you put your scales, that's your handle pieces on the side of a blade, once they're stuck on and the pins are in and everything's on there, trying to tidy up this section in terms of sanding the grain of the wood down, it can be done, but you end up scuffing the hell out of the blade you might have finished to a high degree. Plus you want all the marks going in one direction. If you were using, you know, stone or honing paste, you want it all go in one direction, and if you're going all like this, you might end up with a few diagonal scuffs. I think it's far better getting that section there finished to stop faffing about later. So that means this piece here will be all leveled up and rounded off on the sander, tidied up before it sticks to Kenny's little ornate there, which is doing quite nice actually. Let's shave this little thing out of the way. So put the Fane law to bed. Le papier con coutelet. Is it couteler? French for knife? I don't know. Paper de messer. Can't hold that as well as that. You see that? Right. Ken, it's alright mate. Okay. So there he is. I just managed to keep the Spartan tang stamp in there. Convex, lovely. Virtually a full convex now. It goes from the bottom to the top. And right to the end. I mean right to the end. Nice sweet blade. So once I get that tidied up and glued on, I can start doing the pouts of the sheath versus kukri. But I think I've left the epoxy at work, because what I do a lot of my deliveries, I get them posted to the place of work, like my glue, pins for the stock, I get posted every night. Half the time I'm expecting them to come to me, like in my department, but there's a big pigeonhole system I built up in the staff room. I keep forgetting that small things might end up in there, so I give it a week and Amazon contact me and say, oh, could you fill in our survey? You know, does the stuff arrived? And I'm like, no. Where the hell's that gone then? And then I think, oh, I'll take a look upstairs. So I go upstairs and sure enough there it was. It's been there a week. Like, you know, no one thinks to Scott, oh Scott, you got a package in the pigeonhole. Like, no. So I bring it down and then just leave it on my desk. So, it's brilliant, eh? Twit. So anyway, so I'll pick that back up tomorrow. Block of wood. Magnets. Perfect grinding. I'll go on the belt sander like that. So there's a new toy for me. I might actually finish the square edges off a bit, but that fat chunk of wood means my hand's miles away from the belt. Like that. It would be nice if I can incorporate magnets on my angle jig. Just got to take all my knives off me. So you can imagine magnets in there, along there, so it sits on the shelf and the blade just sticks on the block. That'd be nice. That's an idea of mine I could try and poodle with at some point. But the other thing for this sort of up close and personal is a few people pretty close to me may have been aware that we've lost a family member. That was my Uncle John. I'll try and keep it together for you all. Early 50s. And he battled with the big C for, it wasn't very long, it was just a few months. That was hence the ferro rod sale that I had a few months back with Tube Monkey J. Anyway, my parents went visiting 6-7 weeks ago. He was at home, he went upstairs, he brought something down and said, I won't be using it anymore, could you give it to Scott? Yeah. So, my Uncle John has left me a set of digital calipers, which I can use to double check my pin stop and drill bits to make sure I get the right exact size. But yeah, he's only 13 years older than me, so miss you, John.